Good evening. Good evening, and welcome to my attempt of this introduction and then discussion about the chapter called as Euclid's geometry. I am not going to talk about Euclid's geometry today. I want to introduce you to the man called Euclid. This man was, his name features because there is a chapter called as Euclid's geometry. Otherwise, people have forgotten him. And why would we not forget him? Come on, it's been a long time. This man was alive, say, about 2400 years ago. I might be wrong as well. 2400 or maybe more. 2400 years or maybe more. Oh, come on. Our counting, this present calendar system that we have, the counting started in 2200 to 2100 years back. We started, this is 2024 going on, 2024, this is the year. This man was ancient than this timing and this counting started. Who will remember this man? After so many years, people will forget. What we cannot forget or what we could not forget. Despite of all the human beings and the entire, the fraternity of mankind, despite of we having a very short-term memory, we could not forget this man. The man still features in our textbooks. He still has a chapter on his name. Why? Because something that he did. There is some work that he did. There is something that he did was unparalleled. There is some work that he did was unmatchable. Or maybe the work was matchable, but the people who could match his work were equally brilliant. They were equally genius. So they should get their respect and dues accordingly. But this man also deserves this respect. As a result of this, the mention of Euclid keeps on coming. Somewhere in geometry, somewhere in mathematics, somewhere in advanced studies, somewhere in fundamental studies of mathematics as well. This man, Euclid, keeps on featuring. And we have no choice, but we have to take note of this man. What was his work? Well, I told you I'm not going to introduce you to his work yet, because I want to talk about something else. But what is that? And why did I take Euclid's name if I don't want to mention about him? If I don't want to talk about his work, why did I take his name? Because I'm telling you, Euclid is a scientist. I'm not using the word was, I'm saying Euclid is a scientist. Because what we have of Euclid now, this is not of the past tense. The vision, the understanding, the logics, the clarity, and the attempt, the vigor to find out the details has led to a research, and with that he has put down his theorem, his axioms, his postulates. All of that has come out of a sheer genius kind of work, a genius kind of mind, completely put to work, and it must have taken many years to compile his entire thesis about this. This man was no less than a scientist. He is far better than a scientist. What we know as scientists today, this man must have been many folds brilliant if we have to compare it. But there is one more man that I know. His name is Eratosthenes. This man lived in ancient kingdom of Alexander. He must have been 2200 years old now. So even this man is an ancient man. His name also features in grade 6 about Eratosthenes, prime number scheme. There is a method to find out the prime numbers that Eratosthenes followed. We also study that. This man did some brilliant work, and I am taking this man and I am saying I'll explain this man's work, and then with that I'll introduce you to the work done by Euclid, saying that a scientist think like this. So we're taking this example to understand how would a scientist think, how would a scientist analyze, how would a scientist do his work, and then we'll go and actually actually study the work of a scientist that is there in our syllabus. We are using this as just a pilot reading. As you grow up, you will see that in different laboratories, maybe chemistry or physics, you take certain readings. The first reading is called as pilot reading. It is only to gauge. Here, this reading is between 9 and 10. This reading is between 10 and 11. This is all that we are doing. We are not taking the exact reading. We are just getting an estimation or the judgment. This is going to tell us about what should be our level of effort to understand the work done by this man. You need wide open eyes to understand and see the work, actual work done by you. But how will our eyes open that wide? This man will open the eyes for us. So let's see what was the work, what was the genius of Eratosthenes, and then we'll go to the Euclids. So Eratosthenes was born in a village called as Said. Said is in today's Egypt. The village Said is in Egypt, today's Egypt. At that time it was the kingdom of Alexander. The Said village is a very peculiar village because today it is a well-established fact, but at that time I don't know how many people knew about it or how many people cared about it. But a very significant or beautiful phenomenon takes place in Said on 21st of June. And the hero of our story, the hero of our film, the man, the boy at that time called Eratosthenes, was extremely fond of swimming. He was born here, he was extremely fond of swimming right since childhood. So even as a kid, he would jump into the well. There was a big well back of his house, backyard. And in that backyard, in that well, he used to jump and he used to swim for hours. When you are such a good swimmer and you establish yourself as a beautiful, brilliant swimmer, your family is not scared of you in the water. They are like, yeah, he'll float. He'll not sink. Don't worry about that. So Eratosthenes had a free license. He could swim anytime he wanted. And he would swim anytime he wanted. He was extremely fond of swimming. While swimming, we saw that right at noon, sharp at 12 in the afternoon, the sun would come overhead. But on 21st of June, something mesmerizing happened. That experience changed this man's life forever. On 21st of June, this man was swimming in the well. And right at noon, right at 12 in the afternoon, the sun was absolutely overhead. There was not even a tinge of angle here and there. Right absolutely overhead. And then what happened? The sun rays, if this is the well, because the sun is right overhead, the sun rays reach the bottom of the well. This entire water, this entire well, was completely illuminated by this yellowish white sun. And this set of sun rays made the entire water seem golden. Eratosthenes was completely charmed by that experience. He had never had any of this kind of experience. Because everywhere around him, the water was also glowing with that complete, absolute charming sunlight. Eratosthenes, young boy, a small boy, 7 years old, 8 years old, you don't get to see this. And you are yet too small, so you don't mesmerize, you don't think about, buying some big house or something like that in the future. If he was a 20-year-old, he would not be worrying about this. He would be worrying about maybe some girl in the neighborhood, or maybe he would be worried about, getting a job somewhere, or quitting this job and getting a better job somewhere. This man was very small at that time. So a 7-year-old, 8-year-old boy was very interested in his swimming, and in that swimming, his well was his most favorite part of the world. And this part of the world, the most favorite part of the world, was completely illuminated because of the sunlight right at noon on 21st of June. After some time, the sun rays were going to bend down because the sun was also, was not going to be overhead, it was going to change its direction. As a result of that, as the sun bent, the sun rays could not reach the bottom of the well. Eventually, this experience could not last. Eratosthenes, although very happy, but still frustrated that the experience was cut short, came out of the well. But then he promised himself that tomorrow I will do this again, I will see this again. Then came the date 22nd of June. But on 22nd of June, sadly, even at noon, did not happen. These rays never reached the bottom. It was as if the sun was never overhead. Eratosthenes was swimming in the well since 10 o'clock in the morning, and he possibly swam till 3 o'clock in the afternoon. He did not even go for lunch. He made excuses. His mom would be calling him, his dad would be screaming at him, but he made excuses. He wanted to stay there just in case. If the rays did not reach the bottom, if the well was not illuminated at 12, at noon, maybe it will be illuminated 1 hour later, half an hour later, 10 minutes later. The boy kept on waiting. It did not happen. Very disappointed he came out. 23rd of June, 24th of June, 25th of June, 26th of June, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May. Kept on waiting, kept on trying, kept on swimming the whole afternoon. The magic never happened again. The young boy, small boy, he possibly assumed it, he possibly told to himself that it was a one stroke, one time experiment, or one time, mesmerizing experience. Enjoy it, may the memories be, but it's not going to happen again. But the next year, on 21st of June, as expected, this boy was still swimming here, and right at noon, on 21st of June, again, the well was completely illuminated. Maybe the experience lasted for a minute or so. That minute was very interesting. The boy was charmed, completely blown away, very happy. Again, 22nd of June, 23rd of June, 24th of June, never happened again. The experience never repeated. Eratosthenes learned that something insane happens only on 21st of June at noon. And this experience can be observed, or you can have this experience. Only on 21st of June, sharp at noon. The boy grew up, took a job. This is saying. Took a job much away from Said and went to the capital of the kingdom of Alexander. This is called as Alexandria. I'm just assuming this to be a capital. I'm not a history teacher, so please pardon me if I'm not right about this. I think Alexandria name says this is Alexander, it's related to Alexander. I'm just assuming this is the capital of the kingdom of Alexander. So he went to Alexandria. And he was appointed, Eratosthenes was appointed as the chief librarian of the great library of Alexandria. It is called as Great Library of Alexandria because it was the great library. The library had books about anything and everything. You would write, some people would write books about how do you lead a successful married life. Somebody will write a book about the 10 reasons why I did not get married. Somebody will write a book about if you want to ever reach the moon, what should you do? Somebody will write a book about how does the gravity work. Somebody will write a book about what is light. Somebody will write a book about what is sound. There is no limitation about what topic can you write a book about. And all those books. Hundreds and thousands of books, hundreds of thousands of books were kept and maintained in the library, great library of Alexandria. And that library could not be handled, could not be given the responsibility could not be bestowed upon someone who was just a simple librarian. The vision of the king at that time was the man in charge of this library must be a brilliant guy, expert, a wizard in almost every topic that this library has a book on. So you want to study about geography, there will be books of geography here, and you go and talk to the chief librarian, and he will tell you for that particular new man what is the best book to read. If you are a ninth in geography and you want to start reading, what book should you read? If you are a wizard in geography, you want a particular research kind of a book because you are interested. He will tell you which book is suitable for your research. The man has to be an expert in geography. But is it only geography? No, somebody might be interested in history. The man has to be expert in history. Somebody might be crazy for science. The man has to be a genius in science. The man who got the job was Eratosthenes. Because at that time, the best man that in the kingdom of Alexander, at least in the city of Alexandria, the best man, the most suitable man, the most genius kind of person that could be found and be given this kind of responsibility was Eratosthenes. So this man went there in Alexandria, the great library of Alexandria, chief librarian. But because he is the chief librarian, he is not working under some other big librarian. He is the chief librarian. He is the chief in the library. And behind the library there is a well. So the backyard of the library there is a big well. The man is his own boss, the person boss. So on every afternoon, he tried going there just to check. Or maybe not in the afternoon, but whichever time, he went to have a swim. And on 21st of June, Eratosthenes went to a well in Alexandria. Sadly, on that day, even on 21st of June, in Alexandria, even at noon, the light never reached the bottom of the well. The light remained at such an angle, it never reached the bottom. Eratosthenes was frustrated. He must have cursed himself, why did I come to this city? Now that he has come, he has his possibly family there as well. He must have had his house, big salary, a lot of respect, a lot of responsibility, a lot of work to do, a lot of people who are looking up to him for advice. You can't leave all of that for a magical experience in the well. So Eratosthenes said, why not here? If I can't go back to Spain for this experiment, for this experience, why can't this experience happen in Alexandria? At least let me find out. He waited for one whole year. And the next year in Alexandria, sharp on 21st of June, sharp at noon, he checked where does this light reach. And he pointed this point. He made this point a mark there. He made a mark right here where the sunlight was incident. Beyond this point, the entire well is dark. Up to this point, the entire well is lit. He made a point here. After this, he measured this angle. This angle came out to be 7.25 degree. This angle was calculated measured. It is very easy. The more trigonometry or the more we learn about angles and measurement of angles, we will know this. This is not a difficult task. For a 6, 7, 8, 9 grade old, there might be something like how we measure this angle. Because on paper we know how to use protractor to measure the angles, but if there is no protractor that you can keep here. This is a well in real life. But there are tricks, there are ways in which we can measure the angle. We can actually, or it's not measure, we can calculate the angle. We can do that. So Eratosthenes did that. He found out the angle is 7.25 degree. Then Eratosthenes started to think. What did he think? Let's see this. Eratosthenes said, if the earth is flat, then there is a well here inside sun rays come parallel to each other. The sun rays would come parallel to each other. Even these rays and these rays will be parallel to each other. The sun is so far away. So, if this at Sayed, if these rays are reaching the bottom of the well, then the parallel rays should reach the bottom of the well even in Alexandria. But that's not happening. He verified. If the sun was here, then one ray is coming here, and here some ray is making an angle. The rays are not parallel. But if you keep, let's say, instead of sun, you have a candle here, then you see that one ray is coming like this, one ray is coming like this. There is an angle. But if you keep the candle here, then one ray is coming like this, one ray is coming like this. Points are same. Candle is away. This angle is smaller than this angle. If you take it further, the angle will reduce. The angle will keep on reducing. The sun is so far away that the angle between the two rays has to be zero. The rays have to be parallel. And the rays are parallel to each other. And the earth is flat. There is no chance, there is no reason why Sayid will have this magical experience and Alexandria cannot have. There is only one way this can happen. And Eratosthenes possibly drew exactly the same kind of diagram that I am drawing now. He drew this kind of line. He said if the sunlight is coming here, these sun rays are reaching the bottom of the well. And here the sun rays are reaching this point only, making an angle of 7.25 degrees. But the sun rays are not reaching any further. If the sun rays are not reaching any further, then this angle, and here the angle is zero because the sun rays are coming absolutely vertical. Eratosthenes said that it is impossible unless the sun is really close here. Somewhere here the sun is and it is all vertical, or the earth is not flat. Eratosthenes said if this earth was curved like this, so here the sun rays can reach the bottom, but here the well will be like this, and a parallel ray cannot reach the bottom here. The parallel sun ray cannot reach the bottom, it will only reach here. So if the earth is not flat, then it explains why magical experience in Sayid and 7.25 degrees in Alexandria. The rest was very easy. He said, okay, if the angle, this angle is 7.25 degree, the angle between the sunlight and the edge of the well. If this angle is 7.25 degree, he quickly checked if the two wells are done, or if you at least in diagram you extend this, then this well center and this well center will meet at the center of the earth, the center of the entire earth. And if this angle is 7.25, this angle will be 7.25 degree as well. If you are wondering about how is this equal, don't worry about that. Geometry will tell you it is very easy. These two rays are parallel to each other. Then if this angle is 7.25, this angle will be 7.25 because they are alternate angles. We can use geometry enough to verify this. There is no problem with that. If not alternate, there will be something but I am 100% sure that this angle is 7.25. Now Eratosthenes was left with only one simple thing. This is saying, this is Alexandria, the angle is 7.25 degree. He is saying this distance. He asked a man, he hired a man, paid the man to do only one job, and that job is find the straight line distance between the city of Sayid and the city of Alexandria. Find the straight line distance. You know this is very difficult. There will be mountain and you have to go around it. Eratosthenes says nothing to you. You get a lot of money, just please find out the straight line distance as far as possible, straight line. The man took many months, and in many months he found out that the distance here is around 800 kilometers. At that time it was in miles. I am just giving you the converted 800 kilometers. So Eratosthenes said when the angle at the center is 7.25 degree, then this distance is 800 kilometers. So if the angle here was full 360 degree, then the distance will be this entire circumference of Earth. And he calculated that this is x. So 360 upon 7.25 is equal to x upon 800. X comes out to be around 40,000 kilometers. It's not exact, it is around 40,000 kilometers. So Eratosthenes said that the earth is not flat. In fact, the earth is spherical, is like a sphere. And that sphere has a radius, and the circumference of the sphere, the circumference of the earth is 40,000 kilometers. How did Eratosthenes know that the earth is not flat? Because of one experience in the well. How many of us can have one experience and tell something about the earth, tell something about the position of the sun, tell something about the other planets or moon? He had one experience in the well. But that made him so curious that he sat down, put down his work, calculated, measured this angle. After finding out this angle, he put all the logics here, thought about it minute, spent a lot of money on a man to find out the sacred distance between the two cities, and eventually got out to this point where he calculated the circumference of the earth. The devices, almost nothing, pen, pencil, a man calculated distance. This is what a scientist does. It's not about what you do in the laboratory. It's not about going to the laboratory and coming back. A lot of headache, a lot of work here. What is important is between the years, the logics, the brain, the intelligentsia. This is what is important. This is what makes a scientist. And this is what we have to understand, because the work done by this man, or did I erase that? The work done by this man is also the work of a scientist. He has also tried to explore, he has also tried to find out which others did not find out in his time. In his time, in his era, others did not know what is a point. Others did not try to think about what exactly is a line. Other people did not worry about the plane. Other people did not have questions about can a line pass through one point or can a line pass through many points. Other people did not have the need or the necessity, or they did not have the motivation, or did not have the passion to explore about the intersection of two lines. Basically, this man had the passion, intelligence, and the will to explore. Just like this man had the passion, he put down his work on a piece of paper. He did a lot of experimentation. He hired a man to find out this distance. Did a lot of money spending at that. And after a lot of work, he found out the circumference of Earth. Similarly, Euclid has a lot of work. What is the result of his work? We'll see in the next class. I hope you enjoyed this. This is the work of a scientist. I thought I should be discussing about what is the work, or what is the logic, what is the vision, what is the view that a scientist has. The most important, potent weapon of a scientist is the restlessness. You want to find out something, you're curious about something, but you don't know. That the state of I don't know must make you restless. If you have that restlessness, well, you might have something with which you can work like some scientist. Can you become one? Well, we all are scientists. We all have that restlessness. We all have that passion. We all have the curiosity as well. It's just that we have never channelized it. But some people have, at least we can understand what they're doing. Maybe that will open some of the channels for us as well. Let's see. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you like it. And I hope we go back to Euclid again with a better vision and study Euclid better next time. Thank you.